Forensic Computer Analysis, the art of solving crimes digitally. Hello, my name is Vincent Fuller, and this is my career interest presentation. For as long as I can remember, I have enjoyed puzzles, from the simple to the most complex, and from that love of solving things, also fed my love for mystery stories. One of the most impactful books I read was The Hound of Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I was fascinated how Sherlock Holmes was able to solve crimes using analytics. As time went on and computers became more of a thing, I transitioned to them, enjoying their complex practices. When I started college, I was looking for things that I thought would be of interest and found an article about forensic computer analysis. The job spoke to my enjoyment of both computers and problem solving. So now that we have that backstory, let's begin. In this presentation, I'll discuss what a digital forensic analyst does, the career path, and some of the average pay. I will also talk about some of the latest tech that they use, and lastly, I'll break down how digital forensics helps solve crimes. The road to becoming an analyst. So, how do you become a forensic computer analyst? To begin with, you must be familiar with the workings of computer operating systems and understand networks, hardware, and word processing. You must also have skills in hacking, intrusion, computer systems diagnostics, and security testing. These skills, along with an analytical knowledge, round out your skill set. For academics, you are required to possess a bachelor's degree in computer science or information technology and pass the Certified Forensic Computer Examiner test. When accomplished, you will become part of one of the fastest growing careers. As of 2015, according to the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average salary is $85,800.
My name is Chris Kimmel. I work for Secure State, and I'm a staff consultant. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm using a tool called Forensic Toolkit, FTK. It's by Access Data. Basically, it allows a forensic investigator to take an image, and we're going to be able to carve out missing deleted files. I can actually go in and look at those deleted files, pictures, emails, and try to find out what a person might be doing. And sometimes, people are sending malicious emails out. Sometimes they're, you get into the bad stuff. They're doing criminal activities, they're downloading pictures that they shouldn't be looking at, they're distributing pictures that they shouldn't be looking at. That's some of the cases that I sometimes work with. I work in the business preservation team, so I provide incident response for companies if they have been breached. If there are court cases going on, I'll do digital forensics to try to recover media that may have been deleted or may have been lost and try to help present in court those files and try to help build a case around it. Another type of service that I do is if there is malware that spreads throughout an entire corporation. So recently I had to respond to a company. They had malware spread throughout there. It was a worm, which spreads automatically throughout the entire network. It spreads to every single machine in their entire domain. So I had to go in and I had to come up with a strategy and work with them to figure out how we're going to stop it first and foremost, how we're going to contain it, and then what steps we're going to take to actually remove the malware from the network. I have a bachelor's degree. I went 4 years to Defiance College. I majored in digital forensics. I started off I thought I wanted to be a psychologist. So I went 2 years, and I decided that that wasn't for me. So my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, my roommate's doing this. And I was like, sounds awesome. I've always loved playing computer games. I've always loved typing on the computer, doing random things. So I decided to join the program. And it was amazing. I hit the ground running. I learned a lot in the first 2 years. I got my GCFA certification, which stands for GX Certified Forensic Analyst. 3 months after I graduated, I applied for Secure State, and I was actually able to get a job. And this is possibly the greatest job a young kid could ever get. Recently after that, I got my ACE certification, which stands for Access Data Certified Examiner. So that's kind of my background. It's not a career that you would immediately try to take up if you're just playing video games. It's kind of like, yeah, I have a background in computers. Yeah, I used to play around a lot. And yeah, this is a technical field. Let's try it out. That was kind of my thought process. But I've always liked solving puzzles. I've always liked working and figuring things out. And this is the perfect job for that. I mean, if you like putting puzzles together, you like solving things, it's kind of like CSI, but with computers. I would definitely recommend looking at a 4-year degree. Getting a bachelor's degree will definitely help you out in the industry. There are a lot of really good colleges. Defiance College is where I went. Absolutely loved it. Great teacher over there. After that, you want to start to get certifications, because certifications are the things that are actually going to get you the job. People are going to, because that basically shows that you know what you're doing. So, bachelor's degree, certifications. Best advice that I actually got when I was in school was start applying for jobs about 6 months before you actually graduate. That way you have a head start on the competition, you can actually see what's out there, you can start marketing yourself. It's a little early, but as soon as you get out of school, you're not going to be searching for jobs frantically trying to get by and waiting to start paying student loans, because they get really expensive really fast.
What is a forensic computer analyst? To quote what is digital forensics? The application of computer science and investigative procedures for a legal purpose involving the analysis of digital evidence after proper search authority, chain of custody, validation with mathematics, use of validated tools, repeatability, reporting, and possible expert presentation. Zydeco, 2007. But what does that truly mean? To sum it up with a more simple definition, digital forensics analysts work with computers to recover and investigate material found in digital devices. As a forensics computer analyst, you can get called in to assist on a case. There are several different cases you could be asked to assist in, ranging from missing persons, identity theft, or other high-profile cases. The underlying goal is the same in each case: to ensure the security of the evidence and to help establish a case. Once a scene is cleared and ready for investigation, teams will come on the scene to gather evidence. In the case of forensics computer analysts, you'll want to look for data-driven devices that you can extract information from. Removable storage media should be documented and stored. Cell phones should remain on if possible, but need to be isolated from signals. This is done using a Faraday bag. It blocks out transmitted signals. When collecting evidence, make sure to prioritize it by order of volatility. What this means is that certain items are less likely to store data long term, so to ensure that you collect it before the data is lost. The order goes as follows: CPU and cache, routing table and ARP cache, memory, temporary files, data on hard disk, remotely logged data, data contained on archival media. This data is collected and used to build evidence to convict or help find missing persons. In Minnesota, there was a case involving two missing teens. The local police had run into a wall trying to get some leads. A forensic team were able to obtain the teen's cell phone and using forensic tools were able to identify the last time and place they were seen. Using that information, the local police narrowed their search and found the two locked in a basement unharmed. So when asked exactly what does a forensic computer analyst do, consider them a specialist that assists law enforcement with the recovery of digital evidence. Equipment. While most of the general setups for forensic labs are the same, they differ in the ability to afford equipment. The FBI has created Regional Computer Forensic Laboratories, or RCFLs, to attempt to assist with the lack of credible labs. Due to the massive amount of data stored, the hardware required for storage must be huge. For this, forensic labs need the ability to store large amounts of data, and because of this, several servers will be dedicated to the lab. Each workstation will require computers that are up to date with the latest hardware. Examples: newest video card, sound card, max RAM, etc. As a general rule, the techs within the lab build the computer geared toward their needs, as opposed to buying off the shelf. For software, it will generally depend on the type of hardware in use at the lab, and this will also depend on costs, training, and the work that is required. Some others would be VMware, which is a virtual machine that can allow the analysts to recreate suspect systems or to use tools in a controlled environment. A forensic workstation will contain software for multiple uses, such as word processing software to document investigation process and for documentation of chain of custody. Additionally, would be the use of a digital forensic toolkit. The FTK is a software tool that can scan hard drives for information. They can use this in the recovery of deleted data and the recovery of passwords. These can come either bought commercially or open source. But before deciding, ensure that open source is credible. To do this, the analyst depends on the National Institute of Standards and Technology and the National Institute of Justice. They test the tools to make sure they are in compliance with testing protocols. Conclusion. In conclusion, I have covered what computer forensics is and gave you some information on how they use computers to solve crimes, reviewed some of the requirements needed to become an analyst, and lastly, covered some of the equipment. Computer forensics is a fast-paced job that requires problem-solving skills as well as computer skills. So if you're looking for a fast-paced career that is always evolving, computer forensics is the job for you. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation.